I didn't want them to feel pain. I didn't want
Right.
them to suffer. That's where it comes from. But really, I was taking away their own ability to be in their power. Welcome back to Her Horizon. So happy you're here. Today we're going to talk about why smart women stay broke, and we're going to touch on the topics of people pleasing, perfectionism, and overgiving. So there are three massive things that get to just be done away with.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we're all done with that.
Yeah. And we've each been guilty of all of them.
Absolutely.
So there's been, I think, so many women get into people pleasing, especially. We want peace and safety in our environments, and I think all humans are wired to want that. And so women have found that the way to achieve that is by trying to control their environment. And so they do that through making sure everybody else is taken care of, by reading into cues and by trying to prevent any kind of confrontation, conflict, anything like that. And what it turns into is they lose themselves completely in that, and they're trying to please everybody else and make sure everybody else is okay. And do you have a story about people pleasing?
Yeah, and it also doesn't help anybody.
No.
So that's the thing. So I remember thinking that I was doing the good thing, right? Being the good girl, taking care of everybody.
The good girl.
Yes. I actually went to a retreat for me, and at the very beginning of this retreat, someone slipped and fell. And I went because a friend invited me in.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady who slipped and fell, the retreat facilitator was like, okay, who are energy people here? And my friend is like, Paula is, So I went over and I was doing Reiki on her ankle. It was years ago. And then as the retreat progressed, I would try to save other people. Or whenever there was anything come up. And this, a really profound moment for me was this retreat host came over and he put my hands on my heart and he's like, you're a powerhouse woman and none of this is yours to take. So I'm trying to help everybody, but really the pleasing, right? I didn't want them to feel pain. I didn't want them to suffer. That's where it comes from. But really I was taking away their own ability to be in their power, because we don't find ourselves through if you're walking through life and someone is always doing everything for you, and they're picking up after you, if they're helping you heal, then you never actually find yourself.
They're treating you like a child, really, because that's what we do for our children. But eventually we want to teach our children, hopefully, to be self-sufficient and to take care of themselves. We're trying to teach them how to be grown-up humans.
Another thing for me too is growing up in the South, it was very big, children are to be seen, not heard. I remember every time, and this isn't a fault of hers, it was just the time at that time, but every time my mom was on a call, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you have to be quiet. Or you know what I mean? There wasn't a voice that got to come through. So I felt my ability to people please came from toning myself down, from not being heard.
Well, also I think as women, we get attention from that. People are like, oh, she's such a good wife, she's such a good mother, she's such a good sister. It's never really she's such a good woman. It's she's good in the relationship of what she's doing for other people and what she's giving of herself to help others, as opposed to actually just being a woman in her power. And not saying not to help other people, but help them help themselves, empower them to empower themselves.
Yeah, and clear yeses and nos for us. I think good leadership and a good woman comes from being when I give something, I'm a clear yes for it.
Yeah.
It's within my capacity to give, and instead of the people pleasing and the overgiving. Because that comes, then you form resentment.
Yeah.
If you're overgiving and people pleasing, you literally don't like anybody.
You're just pissed off.
You're just pissed off.
Bitter. Yep. Absolutely.
And then you try to hide it.
Right.
And then your body gets Hashimoto's.
Yes.
Or
some kind of autoimmune.
Some type
definitely.
of autoimmune, because it's attacking itself. when we're not listening to ourselves, when we're not honoring ourselves, our body will turn against us. Then you start taking all these meds, and then your liver, it's a whole thing. So honestly, if people could just, like, and this was, again, like, it was a practice for me, it took many years, but honoring my yeses and my nos. I don't play with that stuff anymore. But it's because I can't give to people if I am stressed out, if I am worried about what other people think all the time, if I'm in a toxic relationship and just I can't actually give to anyone. I can't nurture, I can't be in my divine feminine to nurture people, which I love doing. I actually love doing that. I love building people. I love it. But I can't do it if I'm ridden down with all the weight of other people's opinions.
Yeah. And also the expectations that you will always be the one to come in and solve, but you're also the one that gets the blame for everything as well if things don't go the way that they should. I think so many people, so many women get into, like I said, the roles that they play, and they drown. Then they become like the yes woman. Oh, everybody can rely on her. She'll always say yes, even though really she's like, I want to say no, but I don't feel like I can. And that's how women stay in bad relationships, because they're constantly going against that boundary that they should have set a long time ago, and then they don't find a way out of that until sometimes it's too late, or they do.
Yeah, my too late was like I had Bell's palsy. It was actually Ramsay Hunt, so I had shingles inside my ear. I was talking to a couple nights ago, and she was talking about when she was going through her divorce, how I was literally the only one there for her. You know what I mean? Showing up for people is big for me, and then now it's like being reciprocated is big for me. I was so giving, I was working so much, I was raising 2 little kids basically alone, and then my body was like, nope, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah, if we don't make a decision for ourselves, our bodies will be like,
you're out.
Yeah, girl, bye. And that actually is a perfect segue into perfectionism, which I think a lot of women deal with, is that we have all of these societal standards of what it means to be a woman, what we're supposed to look like, what we're supposed to act like, what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to be in relationships, how we're supposed to be as mothers, how we're supposed to be able to do all the things and be the perfect wife and the hot dominatrix, but also, you know, the food prepping everything and making the best little snacks for your kids. And it's never enough, never enough, never enough. You'll never ever get there. You'll never be the perfect mother. You'll never be the perfect wife. And so women get so caught up, and I'm one that struggles with perfectionism. That's been one of my biggest struggles. And it's worked in an opposite way in my life, in that it ends up being like self-sabotage. I don't know enough. I don't have enough of this. I am not quite there yet in putting my magic out there. I need to just learn just a little bit more in order to be perfect. And then you end up not doing it. And really what you need to do is just put it out there and just be messy about it. Who cares? It's the action, the stepping forward and actually doing the thing messy will get you so much further than holding yourself back waiting to be perfect, because perfection is an illusion and it's a ever-moving target, especially for women. Nothing that you could even keep up with as far as what society expects of us. I think women especially have so much of that put on us, of what it means to be a woman and what it means to be a good mom, a good wife, a good sister.
Yeah, I think that it's so important to learn to not listen to other people in so many ways. I know that it sounds so counter, but sometimes I will just go sit by the ocean. I've been so internal for a long time because of that. I love my knowing and wiping away the world. We were just talking earlier about doing lives and the Bell's palsy. My perfectionism still comes out to play too. I still see it, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do a live because my eyebrow gets kind of crooked sometimes, you know? Like, it's still there. I love the messy people.
Yeah.
I don't care what you look like.
Right.
I don't care. Like, if you're happy, that's what matters. And I'm so tired of all the stipulations put on women's bodies.
Oh my God.
I did a modeling for a little bit, and you would think that it would be like a uplifter of your confidence. Oh no.
No.
Your big toe is too big. Your
Oh
this
my
is
gosh.
too that. You know, like you.
We want you to look like a 12-year-old girl.
That's it. But you're not defined by the way you look, besides defined by who you are.
Yeah.
We should start defining people by who they are. Like, how kind are you?
Yes.
To the people around you? How kind are you to yourself so you can be kind to others?
Yeah.
That is the definition of a good woman or a good person should be, not their body type. We both have MBAs, but I don't care what kind of letters you have behind your name. I don't care about any of that. Are you going to create a good environment for the next generation to move this planet forward? Do you care about your children so that can be the example to your grandchildren?
So interesting. I was reading a story about a woman who was judging herself because she didn't think she played with her daughter enough, and her daughter would come and ask her to play. And sometimes it's hard for moms to always relate with childhood play, and we're always judging ourselves because we're always taught to be a perfect mom you have to play with your kids for 5 hours a day and help them with their homework and be their soccer coach and make all their lunches and do all of the things and do every little thing perfectly. And so she was really in a judgment, and then her daughter brought home this thing that she wrote in school, and it was like, I love my mom because she plays with me all of the time. And so our own perception is so skewed sometimes of what actually is reality and how other people are perceiving us. And so our own judgment of our supposed imperfections is so much stronger than, and it's almost like we do it to shield ourselves, right? We put these judgments on ourselves because we're like, if I'm judging myself, then other people's judgment won't hurt as bad. We're judging ourselves, or we're projecting our judgment of ourselves onto other people and perhaps judging them. I think that women do that a lot, where they have their own insecurities about their bodies or about their not being the perfect mom or not playing with their child enough or all of these things. And so then they can sometimes judge other women for doing that as well. And so I think that that's something as women we have to move beyond.
Stop.
Is that there is no perfect. There is no perfect way. Everybody comes from their own experiences that have built them to this point. And just because they don't do things necessarily the way you do them or the way that society tells them, there's so many people that tell me that. It's interesting because the people that, when I tell them that I'm travel the world with my children, they fall into two camps. One camp is like, well, aren't they going to miss out on school and all of this the super structured world that is kind of the old guard type thing? And then there's the other camp where they're like, oh my God, you're providing them with such an amazing education that they could ever have. And whereas I obviously agree with that, that's the reason I'm doing it. But you're always going to have people who are using their own internal insecurities as a lens to judge you for what you're doing. Always.
Yeah, and speaking in the feminine, it's such a way to keep us out of our power, because when we come in circle together and we support and uplift each other, magic happens so quickly and so deeply. And the judgment of other women has become the way to keep us out of that. And I love seeing that is falling apart.
It is falling apart.
And I love it.
Burn it to the ground.
Burn that to the ground. Jealousy about face. You know what I mean? Judgment about face. Because I have women in my circle that are so about building each other up and loving and kind and supportive and cheering each other on. I can't even dip a toe in the other now. And that's having experienced both worlds, like, woo, coming from a deeply religious, judgmental, if you weren't perfect looking or had a perfect home, that's what everybody talks about. Everybody talks about, like,
your looks in your home.
Yes, but really they're dying on the inside. That's my own projection on them. But what I experienced was women really sad on the inside, and the only thing that they could really do was try to make themselves look better and their homes look perfect, and that was but it's not real.
That's why we went so far as this whole plastic surgery and all of these things. We swung so far that way for a little bit, and now you have women that their faces don't even look like themselves anymore, and because of wanting to consistently try to live up to this standard, it's like a mountain without a peak. There's no getting there. There's no summit. There's nothing that you could ever get to, but you just keep trying and trying and trying and trying, instead of being satisfied with and loving what is right now. And that's really the key. In order to even make any improvements, you can't tell yourself that you want to improve because you hate the person you are right now. You have to love the person you are right now in order. It's just like a child. If you're trying to get them to change a behavior, or what does it say? Beatings will continue until morale improves. You know what I mean? Like that kind of philosophy. You can't beat somebody into submission to make them better, and so it's the same with yourself.
Beat other people.
You can't beat yourself to make yourself better. And I think women, we're very hard on ourselves, and we tend to people please and be perfectionists, or try to be, and it ends up just being self-sabotaging behavior to keep us small. And then we give too much of ourselves, and we don't give back to ourselves and don't fill ourselves back up.
Yeah, I think that's important. So for me, like a daily practice is important. So like breath work, some stretching. I'm not like hardcore yoga anymore. I probably will get back into that at some point in time. My moment to lock in, set the intention for the day. Like I used to do 3 words for the day. How do I want to feel today?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it'll just be 1 nowadays. Just starting with like a self practice of like you time. I would get up at like 4:30 and do this like back in the day. And now I don't have to get up that early, thank goodness. But right? But it's like learning how to fill our cup up so we can give.
Yeah.
Because we are by nature givers, and actually by nature receivers.
Yes.
Like by anatomy we're receivers, and that's an important too. Like learning how to receive was massive for me.
Oh my gosh, women have such a hard time with that. I think we've been so separated from that part of us, but we are supposed to
1000%.
Yeah, even if you look at nature, the female versions of birds they're kind of nondescript, whereas the male ones are the ones that are supposed to be like, look at me, and they're there for the female's pleasure. The female's like, I think that you're beautiful, but I think he's a little bit more beautiful, so you're the correct mate for me, you know, come on. And women are taught that in human society it's the opposite. We're the ones that are supposed to be giving of all of ourselves and doing all of the things to make ourselves worthy enough to be loved. And then somebody can just come and pull that love away, and it is devastating if we don't have enough self-love to be able to handle it.
Yeah, like one of the themes that I've heard recently too is like, oh, he's not choosing me. Versus, am I choosing him? What I want to be in relationship. I've been out of relationship for 3 years now, and it's so interesting. The power of that is, who do I want to choose now? You know what I mean? I don't know if I want to choose any of them still in this moment, but it's like looking back at relationships and how twisted it has become.
Yeah, it's not natural.
It's unnatural, and it's, I would not choose that person in a million years. But previously, I was so worried about not being chosen.
I wanted to be chosen so bad, because we're taught that that is the. I know. We're taught that's the pinnacle.
Right.
That we're like chosen by a man. Is like, I have bestowed upon you my choosing, and you are now whole. And now we realize that just means I have to clean up your fucking socks. You know, I mean. Not all men, but you know, it is a kind of I think a lot of women are waking up to that fact that they really should have been choosing themselves.
It's choosing ourselves, and that comes back to living magnetically and in our joy. And how do I want my day to go? What do I want to experience today? How am I going to feel wealthy today? What is that for you for today?
Yeah.
And then creating the environment for that to happen is massive. And you just watch all these women who have massive glow ups, and they're like boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
You know,
like I lost 200 pounds of man, and now I don't have everybody wanting things from me, and now I can pour that energy back into myself, and here I am, and now it's for me, and I love myself enough to do it for me.
Yeah, and I have been able to give so much more. I think we do want to give, you know what I mean? I do love nurturing. I do love growing.
Me too. On your terms.
On our terms, but it's actually so opposite. joke around like we live in a backwards world. If you take care of you, then you can take care of other people.
Yeah.
1000%.
When you fill your own cup up, it just overflows onto everybody else. We hope you enjoyed this today. I think that this is really poignant in what a lot of women are facing in today's society, and so we hope that you found it helpful. And please like, subscribe, share with a woman that you think would find this helpful, and tune in for our next episode of the Her Horizon podcast. Take care. Ciao.